Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. So today's video is a vlog of all the books that I read for the week of March the 26th to April 1st. So I read a total of 3 books and I DNF'd one. So the book that I DNF'd or did not finish was The Push by Audrain. And this is a thriller and it was a buddy read that I was doing with Sharon. And we were supposed to read the second half of the book the week of the 26th to the 1st. We both had issues with the book, so we had to drop it. And so the premise of the book centers around a woman named Blythe, and she's married, and when she gets pregnant, she doesn't seem to be able to have any connection to her baby. And when the baby is born, it's a daughter named Violet. Blythe can't seem to bond with Violet. And we also have a jumping timeline where we have a past timeline where we go back in time to Blythe's childhood. And we also see scenes of Blythe's mother's childhood as well. And so as you're reading these past scenes, you see that there is a bit of dysfunction in Blythe's family, especially in the women's side of the family. It seems like the women, when they become mothers, they just can't seem to bond with their children. It seems like it's only with the daughters. Doesn't really mention any sons. So when she delivers Violet, she just can't seem to bond with Violet at all. But Violet, she's gravitates towards her dad. And so, I mean, as you're reading along, you realize that, or you figure out that because the dad shows affection to Violet, she's naturally going to gravitate towards her father rather than her mom, because for whatever reason Blythe just can't seem to connect with Violet, and she seems to think that there's something wrong with Violet rather than there's something going on with her, because it seems like there's a generational thing where this dysfunction, where there's no love or connection between mother and child, is passing itself down from grandmother to mom to the next child. And so then as we move along in the story, where Blythe has a second child, and it's a son named Sam, and this one, her situation, the experience with Sam is totally different from Violet. Blythe is able to connect with Sam right away. And so when we got to a certain point, we just had to stop, because there was a lot of issues with the book. It's just like the way that Blythe was interacting with Violet, it didn't sit right with us. So we had to DNF it. So the 3 books that I did finish there were 2 cozy mysteries and a historical romance. So the first one was Dead and Buried, and this is book 2 in the Grey Whale Inn series by Karen McInerney. And it centers around Natalie, and she owns and runs a bed and breakfast called the Grey Whale Inn. And so one day she's out walking, and she has a neighbor named Paulie, and she lives on this land there's also, I think there's a cranberry bog that's next to it, or like borders it, or something like that. And these developers want to come and take over her land and also take over the bog, and it's just develop over it. So in other words, it's going to remove the bog completely. So one day, Natalie finds Paulie dead near the bog, and so she's wanting to investigate to figure out what happened to Paulie, because there's no reason. They think that she might have done something to herself, but there is no reason for anything like that to happen. And then we also there's a secondary story involving Natalie's friend who was dating this pastor, and so as you read through the book, he ends up dead as well. And then we find out that what happened with him, with his death, and what happened with Paulie is connected. There's a connection there. So this book I gave 3 wontons out of 5. It was okay. I found that that Natalie, she seemed to focus her energies on investigating the pastor's death more so than Paulie's, even though we find out that there's a connection later on. I think maybe it could be because her friend was suspected of having something to do with the pastor's death. So maybe I was guessing that's why Natalie was more focused on his death rather than on Paulie's. But that's just my guessing. I can't really say. So that was that one. It was all I found book 1. I like book 1 a lot more than book 2. But I'm still planning on reading the rest of the series. So I'm going to read book 3 very soon. So I'm thinking that it'll be a good book as well. Because I mean, three wontons is all right. I mean, it's not. I still enjoyed it for the most part. So the second book that I read is the historical romance, and it's an affair with a notorious heiress. And this is book number 4 in the Scoundrels of St. James series by Lorraine Heath. And it centers around Tilly. She is an American heiress. She married an earl, I think it is. So she married English aristocracy. And so in this book, she is an outcast in society because she was found in an intimate embrace with a footman. And so because of that, her husband divorced her, and then she was an outcast from society. Nobody wanted anything to do with her. She went to a ball or a party or anything like that. Everybody would give her looks and they'd sneer at her and ask, "Why are you here? You're an outcast. You don't belong here." So she has a younger sister, that she needs to get out in society. She wants her to find a suitable husband. So the Earl is like a Marquis, or I think he's a Marquis of Brexton. Yeah, he's the heir to a dukedom. He goes, and I think she asks him, or somehow he's pulled into spending time with the younger sister. Is like taking her out and going out on rides, like horse rides, or like escorting her to different events, like operas or concerts or things like that. So as we're going along through the book, the Rexton, he's the other main character. He starts to he likes the younger sister, but he's starting to develop feelings for Tilly. And Tilly, she's not really interested in anybody. I mean, she wants to just find somebody suitable for her sister and then move back to America so she can live out the rest of her life there, outside, away from the sneers and the looks from the English aristocracy. But she eventually starts to develop feelings for Rexton as well. And so this book I gave 3 wontons out of 5. It was all right. I found it not as angsty as all the other books by Lorraine Heath, because Lorraine Heath is very well known for having a lot of angsty plots. I mean, there was some angst in this, but it wasn't that much to me. So that's why I gave it 3 wontons out of 5. And the last book that I finished for this week, I just finished it yesterday. It was the last day of March 31st. It was Partners in Lime, and this is book number 6 in the Seaside Cafe series by Bree Baker. And it centers around Everly Swan, and she runs a tea shop / cafe on the beach. It's called Surf, Sand, and Tea. And I think in this book, she is sorting out, she's bringing over some of her teas and her treats to this event. It's almost like not like a fair or a carnival type of thing, but it's there's other all the local people are together, and they're just hanging out, having fun with the barbecues and things like that. So she sees, and there's also a group of pro surfers that are in town. The town is named Charm. So they're in town, and then on this night, she sees her friend Matt, who is an EMT, and who she had a one date with. He's arguing with one of the surfers. His name is Kai Larson, and Kai punches Matt in the face. So Everly's like, oh, she's wondering, like she's concerned, and she's wondering why these two men were arguing. And so we find, and then later on in the book, we find Kai on the ground, dead with an arrow in his body. So we think they think that the arrow is a murder weapon, but we find out later on that it was the arrow was not like a prop, but it was put there as to the real murder weapon. It wasn't the real murder weapon, let's just say. And so the police suspect Matt because at this event he was using a longbow and arrows. So, and he's able to, I can see it was almost like when they're not like a Robin Hood type of like that in that event where he's shooting the arrows and he gets it in the bullseye. I think there was a competition where Matt was shooting the arrows to get to the bullseye. So one of these arrows was in Kai's body, so he's automatically suspected. And so Natalie she wants to know what happens because she doesn't want Matt to be suspect number one in this death because he's her friend. And so we also have the Grady, who was her maybe boyfriend, who was investigating the death. And he doesn't want her to investigate. Like he wants her to stay away from it because she starts to get threats. Like there's people are leaving arrows around her property, like near her shop or near her home. And so he wants her to stay away. Don't investigate because you're being threatened. She can't help herself, and so it's her friend that is being not investigated, but the police are looking at him as the main suspect, and so she wants him to she thinks he's innocent, so she doesn't want to stop investigating. She wants him exonerated, and so we also meet up with her aunts Fran and Clara, and we also have Denise the au pair, and there's also a side plot with her friend Amelia. Her boyfriend is arranging this big elaborate birthday party for her, so that's kind of like a subplot. But the main plot of the book is what happened to Kai and what is how there's other characters in the book like Tara, who was his wife, and then there's another surfer, Ava, who she sees as Kai as a mentor, and we also have this man named Orsier. I'm not sure if I pronounce it right. He's kind of like the spot. He's like not an organizer, but he's represents the surfers. He gets them set up in competitions and arranges for sponsorships to be part of because this gets them more money. And so, besides the competitions, when they get the sponsorships, they get more money and they get even more recognized. So this guy Orsier is part of that. That's his job to set up all these competitions and sponsorships. So we have all those people that are suspected, and so this book I gave 4 wontons out of 5. I liked the book. It was a good read. The one little nitpick I would give is that. And I think this is part of any cozy mystery that you read, where you have an amateur sleuth that investigates a crime when they have no business investigating in the first place. So the police are just like frustrated. They want them to stop, but the amateur sleuth won't do it. So that's what's happening with in this book. Everly is investigating. Grady doesn't want her to do it, and she can't seem to help herself. And there is one scene where Everly is questioning this other character, and they get mad. They get upset with Everly, and they say you need to stay out of this. What everyone says in town about you is right. You're too nosy. Stay out of it. So that's a little nitpick that I would have about the book. Other than that, it was still a good read. So those were the books that I finished this past week. What did you read this week? Did you have any good reads that you want to share? If you'd like to, you can post in the comments. I'd be happy to read them. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and your evening, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.